For the last part, we are going to discuss the group and the organizations. Areas of legitimate influence. Organizations have certain policies and requirements for their performance. If the organization and an individual define the boundaries of legitimate influence differently, then organization's conflict is likely to develop. Remember, agreements avoid conflicts. Rights of privacy. Primarily, it is related to organizational invasion of a person's private life and an authorized release of confidential information about a person that would cause emotional harm or suffering. The following are the activities that may involve employee rights of privacy: lie detectors, personality test, location trackers, medical examinations, treatment of alcoholism, monitoring of employee lifestyles, treatment of drug abuse, surveillance devices, computer data banks, confidential records, genetic screening or biometric data, and inquiry into personal relationships. There are also policy guidelines relating to privacy, namely relevance, recency, notice, fiduciary duty, confidentiality, due process, and protection of the psyche. Issues in relation to rights of privacy. Surveillance devices. It is used in monitoring of the behavior, activities, and other changing information, usually of people for the purpose of influencing, managing, directing, and protecting them. Honesty testing, also known as integrity test. It is used to make the respondent disclose any information about his or her previous or prospective honesty. Treatment of alcoholism. Since alcoholism presents major medical and job problems, employers need to develop responsible policies and programs to deal with it without endangering rights of privacy. Drug abuse. Using of drugs, particularly if used at work, may cause severe problems for discrimination. It is the unjust or prejudicial treatment of different categories of people or things, especially on the grounds of race, color, national origin, sex, religion, handicap, and health status, and other related factors. Discipline. The area of discipline can have a strong impact on the individual in the organization. Discipline is management action to enforce organizational standard. There are two types of discipline. First is preventive discipline. It is the action taken to encourage employees to follow standards and rules so that infractions do not occur. Second, corrective discipline. It seeks to discourage further infractions so that future acts will be in compliance with standards. Quality of work life. Quality of work life refers to the favorableness or unfavorableness of a job environment for the people working in the organization. The traditional management, like scientific management, gave inadequate attention to the human values. In the present scenario, needs and aspirations of the employees are changing. Employers are now redesigning jobs for better quality of work life. Examples are job redesign, administrative justice, career development, job security, and the like. Job enrichment and job enlargement. These are two important steps used to make the employees feel that the organization is actually owning them and help in boosting their performance on the job. These two techniques have more impact on employees' job satisfaction level in the organization, which increases the productivity of the employee as well as the organization. Job enlargement and job enrichment differs in terms of nature, usefulness, higher skills, supervision, training, cost, and rule.
Employment is a mutual transaction and a social exchange. Each employee makes certain membership investments in the organization and expects profitable returns in exchange. The organization also invests in the individual, and it too expects profitable returns. In addition to this, the following are some responsibilities that largely contribute to this topic: organizational citizenship, dues paying, mutual trust, and blowing the whistle on unethical behavior. Applying the social exchange idea makes it evident that employees are expected to be good organizational citizens, which is the extent to which an individual's voluntary support and behavior contribute to the organization's success. Typical categories include helping others, attending employee meetings, complying with rules, showing courtesy to fellow employees, and supporting organizational practices. Dues paying. It is a special case of individual responsibility to others, which occurs when employees are expected by their peers to pay their dues or put in their time. It consists of the total cost that a person's group believes an individual should pay for the privileges of full acceptance and continuing membership in it. Mutual trust is when there is a joint faith in the responsibility and actions of the parties involved. When it is present, each person has a strongly positive expectation that the other person will do the right thing. And last is blowing the whistle on unethical behavior. It occurs at all levels. Despite own optimism about human nature and fundamental goodness within people, many studies still find that many people act in dishonest ways at some point in their work careers. Whistleblowing as pro-social behavior. Let's define some terms first. Whistleblower is an employee who informs authorities of the wrongdoings of his or her company or coworkers. Whistleblowing. Whistleblowing is the act of telling the authorities or the public that the organization you are working for is doing something immoral or illegal. Types of whistleblowing. Internal. Most whistleblowers are internal whistleblowers who report misconduct on a fellow employee or superior within their company through anonymous reporting mechanisms, often called hotlines. External. External whistleblowers, however, report misconduct to outside persons or entities. In these cases, depending on the information severity and nature, whistleblowers may report the misconduct to lawyers, the media, law enforcement, or watchdog agencies, or other local, state, or other agencies. In some cases, external whistleblowing is encouraged by offering monetary reward. Next, what is considered pro-social behavior? In the Handbook of Social Psychology, C. Daniel Batson explains that pro-social behaviors refer to a broad of range actions intended to benefit one or more people other than oneself. Behaviors such as helping, comforting, sharing, and cooperation. Pro-social behavior is characterized by a concern for the rights, feelings, and welfare of other people. Behaviors that can be described as pro-social include feeling empathy and concern for others and behaving in ways to help or benefit other people. Let's discuss further some psychological factors and motivations for pro-social behavior. In the late 1960s, John M. Darley and Bibb Latané initiated an extensive research program on this so-called bystander effect. In their seminal article, they found that any person who was the sole bystander helped, but only 62% of the participants intervened when they were part of a larger group of 5 bystanders. Following these findings, many researchers consistently observed a reduction in helping behavior in the presence of others. This pattern is observed during serious accidents, non critical situations, on the internet, and even in children.
In the research program conducted by John M. Darley and Bill Latanier, there were 3 psychological factors thought to facilitate the bystander effect. First is diffusion of responsibility. The feeling of having less responsibility when more bystanders are present. Second, evaluation apprehension, the fear of unfavorable public judgment when helping. And third, pluralistic ignorance, the belief that because no one is helping, the situation is not actually an emergency. Darley and Latany have suggested that 5 key things must happen in order for a person to take action. An individual must first notice what is happening. Second, interpret the event as an emergency. Third, experience feelings of responsibility. Fourth, believe that they have the skills to help. And last, make a conscious choice to offer assistance. Here are some motives for pro-social behavior. 1 is egoistic reason. Second, reciprocal benefits. And third, altruistic reasons. Perceptions and benefits of whistleblowing. Now that we understand some basics of what is pro-social behavior in relation to whistleblowing, we can understand some perceptions and benefits of people who engage in it. Whistleblowers can be perceived as either public heroes or vile wretches, depending on their situations. Those seen as heroes generally report serious and high magnitude ethical breaches widely perceived as abhorrent. Others may see the whistleblower as a wretch if they feel the act of whistleblowing is more offensive than the situation reported. Some benefits of whistleblowing. Whistleblowing is a powerful influence in corporations because committed organizational members sometimes engage in unethical behavior in an intense desire to succeed. One of the most valuable whistleblowing benefits is that it enables organizations to access hard to reach information that can help leaders to minimize a wide range of risks. In many cases, whistleblowing has a preventive impact. The mere presence of a well-communicated whistleblowing system will make potential wrongdoers think twice. Organizations can make whistleblowing by explaining the conditions that are appropriate for disclosing wrongdoing. Conclusion. The motivations for whistleblowing in any organization can range from personal to the benefit of many. Proper channels and with clear set of rules for disclosure of wrongdoings in any organization, be it public or private, should be in place for the benefit of both the organization and the protection of the whistleblowers. It should be noted, however, that the whistleblowers under oath may lose their protection should they provide false testimony and be punished accordingly under the law. Thank you, and this concludes our report.